vision shining bright. From the east to every coast, Baka Laka Dakastan's they toast. Greatest ever, he's the man. AJ's got the winning plan. He will prevail, he will succeed. Baka Laka Dakastan's the creed. Followers shout with all their might. AJ's vision shining bright. From the east to every coast, Baka Laka Dakastan they toast. Greatest ever, he's the man. AJ's got the winning plan. He will prevail, he will succeed. Baka Laka Dakastan's the creed. Monitors hum with electric light. AJ's bringing dark to bright. In the chat, they give their cheer. Baka Laka Dakastan is near. It's near. It's creed. It's near. Laka Dakastan's the creed.
EJ and Nana on the road. California sun it glowed. Heading east to Boston town, stopping in Florida bound. Driving truck through desert heat. Brakes went out, just couldn't beat. Cooling system filled with mud. Sweat was dripping like a flood. Road trip warriors, west to east so glorious. Challenges can't bring us down. Drive until we hit the town. Geek Nation, join the quest. Never stopping for a rest. Fixing problems on the way. Together nothing's in our way. Road trip warriors, west to east so glorious. Challenges can't bring us down. Drive until we hit the town. Beating through the rain, through the struggle and the pain. EJ Arno, Geek Nation crew. Drive on till the sky is blue. Geek Nation, join the quest. Never stopping for a rest. Fixing problems on the way. Together nothing's in our way. Road trip warriors, west to east so glorious. Challenges can't bring us down. Drive until we hit the town. Through the heat and through the rain, through the struggle and the pain. EJ Arno, Geek Nation crew. Drive on till the sky is blue. In a desert land so grand, EJ's got the master plan. Building dreams from oil and sand, workers' resources in hand. Refinance clean with a gleam, making cities from a stream. Sweat and grit is how it seems, living out his wildest dreams. Heat is on in Bakalaka, Dagestan. We're building oil towers like a man, with EJ at the helm, it's all in hand. In Bakalaka, Dagestan, we stand. Night and day, the grind won't stop. Concrete rising to the top. Mighty power in a drop. EJ hitting jackpot non-stop, streaming live. His empire grows in every borough, every close. From dusty plains to finance shows, EJ's name everyone knows. He is on in Bakalaka, Dagestan. We're building oil towers like a man, with EJ at the helm, it's all in hand. In Bakalaka, Dagestan, we stand. Night and day, the grind won't stop. Concrete
Discovery,
rising
go and throttle
to
up.
the top. Mighty power in a drop. EJ hitting jackpot non-stop, streaming live. His empire grows in every borough, every close. From dusty plains to finance shows, EJ's name everyone knows. Heat is on in Bakalaka, Dagestan. We're building oil towers like a man, with EJ at the helm, it's all in hand. In Bakalaka, Dagestan, we stand. We stand. EJ streaming late at night, building up with all his might. He's on under desert light, Bakalaka, Dagestan in sight. Sand beneath construction signs, workers forging oil refines. Sweat and gears a perfect rhyme, it's his world, he's on a climb. Oil rules the land he stands, mobile now with steady hands. From the sand his fame expands, EJ's dreaming foreign sands. Towers rise in perfect sync, pipelines flow, no time to blink. Resources here, they interlink. Bakalaka, Dagestan's on the brink. Late night streaming on the screen, his vision clear, his thoughts pristine. Oil-rich world in constant sheen, Bakalaka, Dagestan's the scene. Oil rules the land he stands, mobile now with steady hands. From the sand his fame expands, EJ's dreaming foreign sands.
eyes on the desert globe. Workers working fast and slow, resources running to and fro. EJ's got a show. Refining's king, making things right in the game, day and night. Streaming on his epic plans, Pakistan. City grows, machinery hums, desert winds and beating drums. EJ's empire never slums, he's chasing all the songs. Oil rigs in the midday sun, every task getting done. High scores in the battles won, EJ's having fun. Sand and oil mixing free in the game's economy. EJ rules with strategy, building this dynasty. City grows, machinery hums, desert winds and beating drums. EJ's empire never slums, he's chasing all the suns. Oil rigs in the midday sun, every task getting done. High scores in the battles won, EJ's having fun. Sand and oil mixing free in the game's economy. EJ rules with strategy, building this dynasty.
EJ streams with fire in his eyes. Kerbal dreams ignite the skies. Building wonders pixel high, reaching stars, he's gonna fly. EJ streaming in his chair, goldfish fueling infinite glare. Build a land or let it burn, a Galakadakistan at every turn. Financial tips on every stream, workers to the dream machine. Money flows like molten steel, chase the goldfish surreal. EJ king of the pixels, Galakadakistan in his grip, fueled by crunch and snacks. Watch as his empire cracks. Economy rules, it's all a game, but Galakadakistan is claim to fame. EJ adjusts the lines and grids till his eyes bleed memories of kids. Rusty pipes and golden plans, future lies in worker hands. Stream the build or let it fall, EJ's empire never small. Financial talk makes sense, no lies. Goldfish crumbs and starlit eyes, pour the funds into digital veins, running wild in imaginary planes.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Enemy rules, it's souls, but Galakadakistan. Enemy rules, it's all the game. Enemy rules, it's souls, but Galakadakistan. Hot goldfish fueling it. Enemy rules, it's souls, but Galakadakistan. Enemy rules, it's all the game. Enemy rules, it's souls, but Galakadakistan. And it's great, fueled thing to fail, the crash circling. Economy rules, it's all a game, but Galakadakistan is claim to fame. EJ adjusts the lines and grids till his eyes bleed memories of kids. In the heart of the Galakadakistan stands a hero strong and brave. Commissar EJ, the mighty man, our republic he will save. Through the flames he leads the way, fighting fires with great might. With the people's love he'll stay, turning darkness into light. Oh, glorious EJ, our guiding star, champion of Galakadakistan. In death and heat you'll go so far, our courage bound by your strong hand. In the fields and factories wide, your spirit lifts us high. With your power we could EJ's up high, there's a rocket in the sky, blasting off to space, leaving Earth behind. EJ's stream brings you the latest scoop, every launch, every loop, joining the space troop. Satellites and probe exploring the unknown, from Mars to the moon, space tech has grown. EJ is the guide on this cosmic ride, bridging the gap with news from the inside. Space adventures and missions galore. Catch it all on EJ Star. With each lift off, our curiosity soars. Tune in now for more and more. Gravity defied, satellites aligned. Expeditions calling, don't get left behind. Join the stream, join the dream. EJ's got the greatest beam. From SpaceX launch pads to NASA's crew, discoveries unfold, bringing new view. Fuel your passion, let your dreams ignite. In EJ's realm, the stars shine bright. Space adventures and missions galore. Catch it all on EJ Star. With each lift off, our curiosity soars. Tune in now for more and more. Space adventures and missions galore. Catch it all on EJ Star. With each lift off, our curiosity soars. Tune in now for more and
Space and Rocket Review. You two girls, tell your friends. Space and Rocket Review. What's going on, everybody? This is the Space and Rocket Review for January 23rd, 2025. I am EJ, your host, and I'm the only one here. which that's pretty good. The reason why it's now is because right now is more or less the time when all of NASA's past spaceflight disasters have happened. Apollo 1, Challenger, Columbia, they were all around the same time of the year, not the same time. 1967, 1986, 2003. So figure we'd start with that, get that out of the way. You know, respect to those that have paid the ultimate sacrifice for space exploration. Okay. Cool. Back to the space and rocket review. Yeah, it's always after the holidays, man. That's what I always say. It's always... This is why I think Flight 7... Guys, just on a quick side note, this is why I think Flight 7 was something... It's a dumb mistake. You know, we've talked about, like, Raptors potentially leaking. We talked about that Block 2 was a new type of, you know, new plumbing with the ship. The more I think about it, the more I think that this just screams stupid mistake. And stupid mistakes are likely to happen right after the holidays. It's empirical at this point. Like it does happen. Which sucks, but anyway. You sent me an interesting picture from Pensacola in Discord, okay? Oh. That's strange. All right. Anyway, let's get into the news. Let's see what's up. So this is coming from Christian Davenport. He's a space reporter at the Washington Post. What is this saying? In a bold forecast about what lies ahead for the space industry, venture firm Space Capital predicts both Boeing and Airbus will divest their space divisions in 2025. Citing a Space News article by Sandra Irwin. Okay. Well, let's read. Let's see what's going on. So once again, this is a Space News article from Sandra Irwin. Let's see what's good. I will provide the links in chat so people can go over there, give them the clicks. If you want the source material here, I am just an intermediary to information in this regard, so you have the links over there as well. Phil, I have not gotten those ones just yet. I actually do have the first one. Never mind. Logistics studies. I have all of those links now. But anyway, let's read. In a bold forecast about what lies ahead for the space industry, venture firm Space Capital predicts both Boeing and Airbus will divest from their space divisions in 2025, marking a significant shift in the commercial space landscape. According to Space Capital's latest investment trends report, released January 23rd, these aerospace giants are struggling to maintain pace with the rapidly evolving space sector. These divestitures by entrenched government contractors marks a pivotal movement in the space economy as it changes the competitive landscape, establishes a new power broker system, and creates new opportunities and risk in the government's extended capabilities in space. The prediction comes amid broader trends in the space industry, with Space Capital projecting 2025 to be one of the most transformative years on record for the space industry. He ain't wrong. He ain't wrong. They ain't wrong. I agree with that. You think it was a bad weld python on Starship? Yep. Dude, you're not wrong. It's something dumb. Like, it's something dumb. Like, this is somebody forgot to tighten a bolt with Flight 7. Like, the more I think about it, the more I think it's that fuel leak was caused from something came off and hit a pipe on Raptor and caused a fuel leak or whatever. It's something stupid like that. I guarantee you the FAA will figure this out. The FAA and SpaceX, yeah, that mishap investigation is going to come out, and it's going to be something dumb. I'm like, I'd say like 80% sure at this point. But it also could just be that the Block 2 design plumbing wasn't right. It's one or the other. Like, it's either one of those. Anyway, this forecast is partially influenced by Elon Musk's prominent position in the Trump administration, which Space Capital expects to maintain a strongly pro-growth and anti-regulation stance towards the industry. I'm not sure I 100% agree with that, but all right. Defense sector becomes key battleground. The report highlights increasing defense spending as a crucial factor shaping the industry's future. Mounting concerns over China's space capabilities, particularly its Beidou navigation. I'm not saying that right. If anybody out there speak Mandarin, how do you say that? Beidou or Baidu or Booty? I don't know. Could be one of those. Let me know. Particularly its booty navigation system's growing influence are driving U.S. initiatives like the adaptation of alternative positioning, navigation, and timing systems offered by commercial firms, and the Resilient Global Positioning Systems RGPS program. Second way, Beidou. Okay. Which aims to strengthen GPS infrastructure through commercial partnerships. An increased focus on defense is already evident in the recent industry moves. Redwire, traditionally focused on space infrastructure, is set to acquire Edge Autonomy for $925 million, signaling a strategic pivot towards defense technology. Similarly, Voyager Technologies, formerly Voyager Space, has announced a restructuring to emphasize defense and national security operations ahead of a planned IPO. Booty navigation system. Yeah, I don't think we should call it that, but Beidou. Okay, got it. Booty. Okay. The trends extend to other players in the space sector. Planet, an operator of imaging satellites, satellite manufacturing startup K2 have both recently recruited former defense officials, indicating their intent to pursue more military contracts. That's from Sandra Irwin. It's interesting that they put a picture of Starliner, because from what I can surmise in that article, it sounds like they want to divest from their satellite production services. Airbus doesn't make a human-rated capsule. Airbus doesn't make a human-rated capsule, right? And Boeing has obviously Starliner, but Starliner is just one part of a huge space huge space kind of industry that Boeing has. I don't think they are going to divest from Starliner. I think they will divest from their satellite industry. So like the Boeing, what is it? BSS, Boeing Space System 702, their SAT bus. The reason why is because PLEO SATs like Starlink, OneWeb, those alternative GPS timing systems that were cited in the article, those are really what's screwing their business. Airbus and Boeing are both in the business of making big, gigantic school bus-sized satellites and sending one out every couple of years and having a small geostationary orbit constellation for communications. That's where the market was. You go back 5 years from now, that's where the market was for sat launches in geostationary satellites. Geostationary satellites tend to have a 10 to 15 year life cycle, right? And in doing that's what made those satellites so dang big, right? Because they're designed to stay out there for a long time. It's this gigantic sat bus. You only need to launch one every 10 to 15 years. And that's kind of where the market trend went. Now, some dingbat came along with Starlink and decided to buck that trend. Now, the trend is towards low Earth orbit constellations, or what's called proliferated low Earth orbit constellations. You have satellites that get launched on a much more frequent basis, Starlink. And also, those satellites don't have a very long shelf life. Satellites that are in low Earth orbit have to rely on more decaying or perturbing forces than geostationary satellite constellations do, i.e., there's an atmosphere in the way. So perturbing forces causes these satellites to have to constantly fire their thrusters, lowering the shelf life, so to speak, of the satellite. Starlink satellites are only really designed to last 3 to 5 years. The first Starlink satellites that were launched into space are already long gone. They've been deorbited. They were deorbited years ago, believe it or not. Weird to think about, right? So these proliferated low Earth orbits are kind of bucking the trend towards more frequent launches and smaller satellite architectures. Something that, like physically smaller satellites, something that Boeing and Airbus are not equipped to do. So unless they want to pivot, I would divest immediately, because being in the business of building gigantic geostationary satellites that last 10 to 15 years, that market has dried up completely. Completely. So I don't think Boeing will divest from their human space flight. Because at the same time, now here's why I think this. At the same time, these proliferated low Earth orbit launches require a rocket reusability would be key, but a rocket that needs to fly on what's called a high launch cadence. High launch cadences mean launching more. Like, you need something like Falcon 9 that's going to fly 2 to 3 times a week, right? We do have another Falcon 9 launch. Speaking of that, we have another Falcon 9 launch tomorrow at 9 a.m. because Elon went back to hating me. So tomorrow's going to be a nice long stream. It's going to be great. So these proliferated low Earth orbit constellations require a more reusable vehicle and require more frequent launches. Now, so what does that have to do with Starliner? How is Starliner involved in this in any way, shape, or form? Like, what's going on here? Okay, because proliferated low Earth orbit constellations require such frequent launches, the price cumulatively of $1 per kilogram to get it into space goes down, because your launch vehicles, by far, well, not by far, one of the more expensive parts of this whole endeavor of getting stuff up there. You get stuff like New Glenn, you get stuff like Falcon 9, you get stuff like Starship, right? Even Vulcan with smart reuse in the future. You're getting these things, right? And you can afford to launch more. And if you can afford to launch more, that means it's no skin off anybody's nose. Just instead of putting satellites on one of these high frequency launch rockets or high launch cadence rockets, you put Starliner on it instead. That in itself will lower the cost of humans flying into space. That was the whole idea of the commercial crew program to begin with, right? Now that you have that avenue, a lot of Vulcans are going to get made. A lot of Falcon 9s are already made. A lot of New Glens are going to get made in the future. Because you have all these rockets and all these very viable and easier ways to get into space, the market for launching people into space is going to go up. We've already saw this trend with Dragon, because Dragon works. We've already saw this trend with Dragon. Look at Inspiration 4, Polaris Dawn, Polaris 2, whenever that happens. Jury's still out on when that's going to happen. You have From 2, right? All these commercial missions are starting to pop up. These were unheard of even 5 years ago. Right? So that, in this regard, I think Boeing is anticipating a market for launching people into space with Starliner. But they're going to dump their satellite programs. That's my guess. I don't think they will divest from Starliner. I really do not think that. But yeah, that's all I have to say about that. If Rook becomes administrator, could he still fly? I don't see why not, Gaw. I don't see why he couldn't. I would just, if he went through with Polaris 2, right? If he did go through with it, I would be a little bit concerned about being able to balance the training regime of a flight like that with his administrative duties. But if he's up to the task, if Rook can handle it, sure, why not? Do it. How cool would it be to have the NASA administrator do a town hall from space? I mean, when you say it, it sounds like something that should be happening, right? Like, That sounds like something that should be a thing. Like, oh yeah, of course the NASA administrator does NASA stuff from space. It's NASA. That makes perfect sense, right? Like, he said duty. He said duty. All right, sorry. The headset almost shut off. I got to bring in the Starbase Live background music from my unleveled trailer cam. From my unleveled... There we go. Does the sound unleveled too? Double-edged sword. Boeing entire space defense unit has recorded a $1.6 billion loss for last year. Add that to the $4 billion they lost on their aviation sector. Baron, it's going to sound stupid. You can call me an optimist, but I think Kelly Ortberg's, he's going to fix things, but not without hemorrhaging a good amount of cash. I do like Ortberg. I do like what he's done. I like the stuff that he's done already. You know why? Because one of his first things that he did when he was confirmed as CEO was went in and fired the guy that ran Boeing Space. That sucks. Dum bum bum bum. You know. Boy. I mean, that guy deserved to get canned. Starliner reeks of inexperience, man. A Mustang with a catback exhaust. You hear that? Starbase Live. All right, bringing me the revs. Yak never fixed the trailer. I don't think he's had time to go out there. Jack is going to the Astro Awards in Austin, Texas. Austin, Massachusetts. So he's out for a little bit. AJ, any idea when we're expecting Jared's confirmation hearing? Okay, fellas, I'm not trying to get political here. Please, for the love of Jeb, do not make my job or my mod's jobs harder with this answer, okay? So, night, no day, it seems like the incoming administration wants to get stuff done quickly. I would say sooner rather than later. Probably not this month, but I'd say next month. That's just what I've seen. The guy wants to get stuff done quickly. I know some of you don't like that. I know some of you are all about that. I don't care what you think. Next month, most likely. Please don't bring that crap in here, okay? Please don't do that. Don't do that. Please. But they haven't announced anything yet. When they do announce something, it'll be the headline thing for my space news. And as much as I don't want to do this, I will watch that Commerce, Justice, and Science Committee. I will watch that on stream if it coincides with stream time. I'm not missing that. That's way too important to cover from a spaceflight policy perspective. There's a dump truck on Starbase Live. God, what the hell's wrong with my brain? The brain rot, guys, help. Please. It's too much brain rot. Look at the dump truck. Ah! Anyway, no, sorry. I swear I'm not cooked. I swear. Anyway, as much as I don't want to watch a Commerce, Justice, and Science Committee meeting on here, I'm going to. If it coincides with stream time, we're gonna do it. That information is important, and it needs to be purveyed. That's your word of the day. Purvey. I'm a fine purveyor of space news. This is because of Workers, isn't it? Workers is just the avenue, Nova. I've liked dump trucks since I was like 2 years old, since I could understand what the heck a dump truck is. I like construction equipment. I don't know what the hell's wrong with me. That's not normal. I see a bulldozer on the side of the road. I'm like, oh man, would you look at that Caterpillar D5? Now, I tell you, boy, that's a nice piece of equipment. Oh, look at that bulldozer. That's a Komatsu 335. I love those things. Those are my favorite. Like, it's bad. It's bad. You're a dude? Yeah. Stereotypes exist. Mine was tractors. Oh, there's nothing like a good old Alice Chalmers tractor. That's what I'm talking about. Actually, good fella, what is your tractor of choice? Alice Chalmers? Farmall? John Deere? Ford? Ford is mine. I like Fords. Ford, I mean, big surprise, you know, like, would you just look at it? Would you just look at it? Oh, would you look at that? You're making me run around the car here. Yeah, dude, we showed that yesterday, Snickers. Crazy. John Deere, you're an Iowa boy. All right, that makes sense. Yep. Lots of John Deere around here. I tell you what. You know what really made me like tractors? Summer car. I'm from the city, dude. I don't know nothing about tractors. But in summer car, I realized the usefulness of tractors. And I like equipment that is very, very useful. Tractors are amazing. I love tractors. I want one. Primo won't let me get one. But, quick side note, Primo okayed the lift after tax season. So we're gonna get a lift. We're gonna get a lift up in this garage. We're gonna get a lift up in here. Sweet. Anyway. If you say John Deere, you don't like farmers. Well, they're talking about old John Deeres, man, not new ones. The new ones are, hey, boy, can you come over here? Yeah, that's right, Don. I got my grandson to go ahead and I got my grandson to go over here and fiddle around with my tractor, and he got it to do something called jailbreaking. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means, but now I can actually use my tractor like a tractor. Case are your favorite tractors, Joe? Hell yeah, man. All right. I got my 5-year-old to jailbreak my damn. You have a 68 Huff loader. All right, let's go. 1932 John Deere, Bob. Now we're talking. I don't know, Shy. I'll have to think about what I want here. Clarkson's Lamborghini. William, it's too big. It's too big. It isn't. It's too big. It isn't. I love tractors, man. Tractors are the best. You learn to drive on a 72 John Deere 4020. Ernock, you might want to be careful. Your Iowa is showing right now. I want to cover that up. How many trips to Margaritaville did you have to give in for her to approve the lift? At least one, David. At least one. Maybe EJ should invest in a farm. Dude, if I invest in a farm... Okay, so here's the thing. I'm not like some other city slickers that are like, oh yeah, we're just going to go get a farm. I just want to live on a farm. That's the life I really want. And then go there and realize that it's actual work and then do nothing. All right? I know that running a farm that's a lot of work, man. It's a lot of upkeep. It's a lot of work. It takes a lot of physical labor. It takes a lot of long hours and not a lot of overhead. I understand that. That's why I would not buy a farm. That would be sick. But also, no. Farming is tough work, man. It's a lot of work. I know it's a lot of work. I've watched Clarkson's farm, man. No, not just that. I've talked to a lot of people that grew up on farms. It's a lot of work, dude. I wouldn't do it unless I had frick you money. And then I would. Oh yeah, I'd have a huge farm. Embrace cottagecore. The farm would be great IRL content, though. You're not wrong, dude. You are not wrong. The only farm I would be is a tank farmer. Yeah, baby. Just stream from the tractor. That would be pretty cool. Just saying. That would be pretty sick, dude. Okay. I'm a land farmer. Hello, pigs. Pigs, dude. I couldn't farm pigs. I couldn't do that. I couldn't do it. I'd feel bad about eating them. But damn would they be tasty. All right, anyway, more space news. We can talk about farming equipment, the finer points of farming equipment a little bit later, boy. Cows? Sure, absolutely. All right, this is coming from Black Sky here. News. Black Sky ships first Gen 3 satellite today for expected launch in February by Rocket Lab. Gen 3 satellites to add very high resolution 35 centimeter imagery to the company's AI-enabled dynamic monitoring program, delivering data at sub-hourly. ISR mission relevant speeds. 35 centimeter on the civilian market. Okay. Okay. Wow. Remind me to close the blinds? Close the blinds? That's not gonna do nothing. Ain't gonna do nothing. If it's a synthetic aperture, it'll see right through the blinds, dude. SAR is freaking wizardry, dude. You think catching the booster is crazy? Synthetic aperture radars are... Yeah, wizardry. Yeah. Yeah, like Black Sabbath. Bow now now. Down na. Like wizardry. I have no idea how that works. And I'm just like, all right. Yeah, you okay, Trogdor, you just keep doing your thing, man. You know. Okay, get the list of farm toys. Bulldozer, tractor, excavator, articulated truck, tractor trailer, tractor, planter, sprayer, combine, more to follow. Can you explain it, please? Yes, you need consummate V's. That satellite looks good. You know, that arm looks good coming out of the back of his neck there. You want a tractor? How about one of the first 3-point hitch tractors? What's that? Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's a 4N, 8N? Oh, no, it says 9N. You gotta, I can read. Yeah, dude. I'd grab old Ford. Absolutely. That, dude, it's got a Model T motor in it. It's not breaking. Model T engine's not working? Nah, it'll be fine. It sounds like strong bad. Yes, that's right. It is a strong bad. I said consummate V's. Anyway, good stuff coming from Black Sky. We should see that launch on Rocket Lab in a little bit. So, last week, Falcon 9 launched the Ghost Riders in the Sky. Ghost Riders in the Sky. I don't know how to say it, but whatever. It's the Blue Ghost Mission 1, and Firefly has an update for us here, so it is a nice 11-minute video.
Firefly Blue Ghost separation confirmed.
Let's see what we got.
This is AOS. Stand by.
We have acquisition of signal with the Blue Ghost lander.
It hasn't done that yet. It will, though.
My name is Harriet Hunt. I'm a mission operations engineer at Firefly and a flight controller for Blue Ghost Mission 1.
My name is Ryan Cole. I'm the engine manager for the Spectre engine. That's our RCS engines on Blue Ghost.
I'm Jackson Lebeck. I'm a flight director on Blue Ghost, and this is our first weekly update since the launch.
Yeah,
So
mate.
in preparation for launch, there's really a lot going on, but it was actually quite silent because we couldn't communicate to the spacecraft yet.
Yeah, Jake,
I
that's
think
right.
Everyone was pretty nervous, but at the same time pretty excited because we've worked years and years to get to that point right there. And it was sort of just like a monumentous moment that spacecraft is separating from the vehicle. She's all by herself, she's alone, you know, Blue Ghost is alone. And
Yeah,
it's up
baby.
to us to make sure that Blue Ghost gets to the moon safely from then on out once we can get that acquisition of signal. So I think a lot of engineers
No, they'll take your money, all right.
prepped in their own way, but really at 10, 11 p.m. local time, we were all focused and ready for that separation while we're watching the live stream. We're watching Ray and all of the NASA personnel speak about Blue Ghost as well, which was kind of nice. We got to relax before the storm a little bit.
Are you ready?
What are your last words to Blue Ghost 1?
I'm just, thank God we're finally here. We're so excited. It's been 4 years. This is what we built this lander to do, to go to the moon. So I'm excited to start.
Oh my goodness. Let's go!
Oh my God.
Starship ruined rocket launches for me permanently, dudes. It just did.
Look at that. You can see our
That's the
landing
CEO of
site.
Firefly, by the way.
Okay, let's get next days going. There
There
it is.
it is. Yes. Wow.
All right,
That's perfect.
there he goes.
Let's go to the moon.
To the moon.
Hey,
We
Trevor.
expect the vehicle to power on right as we separate, and from then on it's doing a normal power on like we would see in the clean room when we would do our simulations. So everything boots up, the S-band radio boots up, and is attempting to communicate to our flight software,
Yeah,
and then
buddy.
vice versa down to the ground station. You can see that in the video. We're pretty much still from the get-go, and so within, I think it was 10 minutes, we had acquisition of signal. It was just such a exciting moment for the team because on their dashboards they saw telemetry. What that's telling us is Blue Ghost is alive, Blue Ghost is ready, and Blue Ghost was healthy. We were getting great telemetry down, and we actually went through our subsystem checks and our procedures to get it commissioned a lot quicker than we did in simulations, which was just amazing.
So as a flight controller, you're responsible for sending all of the commands to the lander and also coordinating with the flight director and all the other subsystems to make sure that we're running through our steps in the procedure. I was a flight controller for the first shift after launch and separation, so I sent that first no-op to the lander and getting the, receipt of the command, that end item, seeing that we did have acquisition of signal and we successfully sent our first command was a big sigh of relief for me. I think that was the most shaky my voice was over the loops, just saying, we got a command received, we're good to go.
Did you prep that line, or did it just come out naturally?
No, I didn't prep anything for it.
So commissioning is really just making sure first the vehicle is healthy and safe.
Healthy.
And then also, we sort of do checkouts for each subsystem throughout to make sure that everything is working nominally. We also did a lot of payload checkouts, so we have 10 payloads on board, and so we turned all of those payloads on, turned their power channels on, and we did health checks. And we got that data down to the ground pretty quick, and that immediately got synced to our customers, NASA and the rest of the teams that made those payloads, and that went very successfully. We had no hiccups, all the payloads got their data, and we were on our way. And it really felt like we were not only ready for this, but our customers were getting what they wanted as well.
Biprop priming is a big deal for the propulsion team especially. This is the first time that most of the plumbing has seen propellants, and it's the first big checkout in that sense that we do. It's also the first time that we raise pressures in the tanks to their run pressures with propellant. So by the end of biprop priming, we have the system in a state that we say we are prepared to do our first Delta V maneuver. We're prepared to fire the engines for the first time. In mission hops during the procedure, you could probably hear a pen drop in the control room, but we went through the procedure slowly, we went through the procedure carefully, and everything proceeded as expected.
Yeah, buddy.
The A1M maneuver is very important to the mission, but it's not actually critical. Critical meaning we could not perform this maneuver, and from an orbital dynamics perspective, we could still land on the moon. But what the A1M maneuver buys us, and what the success of it means, is it's a very effective engineering checkout of the system. Since it's the first time the engines have all fired together, and the engines have fired commanded by this GNC system that we've built, it lets us step through individual
Guidance, navigation, and control
operating modes of the system and learn a lot about them very quickly. So Delta V is one of the ways that you can measure how accurate a burn on orbit is. It's literally saying from the start of the maneuver to the finish of the maneuver, the velocity of the spacecraft changed by this amount.
It is
We got
silly.
the amount of energy out of the engines that we expected. So saying that we finished within 2 millimeters per second change in velocity of the spacecraft is kind of an absurdly small target that we were able to hold inside of.
Wow.
We completed
Whoa.
A1M.
Look at the big
We
brain on
decided
Firefly.
to
That's
record
pretty
a video
impressive,
during
dude.
the burn, and it took a while to downlink, but once we got it on the ground, right at the end of the
Floppy.
shift, you know, we all stood up and watched it on the big mock screens, and I think it's just kind of crazy to me when we're doing the simulations. All of the Argus Cam photos are like of me standing at the rack set, like doing the simulation commanding. So it's crazy for me to, you know, get to stand up and see, oh my gosh, we just did that, and that's the lander in space.
I think the moment that we completed the maneuver was really special for everybody. I don't think anybody quite believed what they were looking at for the first few seconds. It took a minute for that to sink in, to say, oh wow, we have data. It says we fired the engines. we actually fired the engines, and everything looks great. Everything looks healthy right now. So I think we had a minute to be super happy that this happened, and then really focused back in fast on, okay, we did something dynamic for the first time. Is the system healthy? We need to get back into kind of our nominal safe state pretty quickly.
Yeah, so we did technically 15 mission simulations.
Probably
I was
tomorrow,
actually
Cornelius.
the simulation director for those. And so, you know, many of those were week-long simulations where we're coming in working like 12-hour shifts. 1 week of them was 24-hour, you know, turnaround time.
A lot of times simulations felt very exhausting, but the preparation is really just a lot of experience that gets you prepared for that actual day. And I don't think you notice, but when you're sitting on console right now and the Blue Ghost is actually flying, those mission simulations are invaluable.
I told all the operators at least twice that my goal, at least through the mission simulations, was to make sure that your worst day on console is during a sim, and so that everyone is prepared for basically the worst. And I think you can definitely see that all of that hard work through those simulations has definitely paid off.
That's how you do it.
So
That's
this was
that's
Blue
how you
Ghost's
train.
first in-space hypergolic engine that we've made. The propulsion team at Firefly has a lot of experience building launch vehicle engines, and there's a lot of pretty hard-won lessons from all of those development cycles for the engines on Alpha and the engines now on MLV that we were able to kind of draw on to help with this. But the team as a whole has never worked on a hypergolic engine, a very small engine. We're only about 45 pounds force compared to Reaver, for example, which is closer to 45,000 pounds force.
50, stream it, Ivan.
And it's been about 2 years since the first time we fired the very first development engine on this program, with lessons that Firefly has learned on how to make valves very well, to be able to produce an engine quickly that we can get on the test stand fast, break a few things on the test stand to figure out where our limits are, and get back on the test stand as quickly as possible with some tweaks to the design to work things up as fast as we can to a workable solution for flight. The team that's been working on this engine for the last few years has been very, very small. I don't think we've ever had more than 5 people working on the engine full time, bits and pieces of extra support coming in constantly. It's a small team, it's a very young team, and for many of us, myself included, this is actually the first program that we've worked on that's existed long enough to make it to flight. The accomplishment there and the lessons that we've learned, I'm hugely proud of, and I think everybody on the team is super proud of as well.
I think for me, being on console during this mission is just kind of like a dream come true, especially getting to sit as a flight controller and send those commands and work with my flight director, Jackson, who, you know, we've been working together through all the simulations, and I think that we're a really good team.
I've enjoyed every hour that I've sat on console since launch because I'm learning just so much more than we did in our simulations because it's the real deal now.
There's not a technical project that I've worked on that I'm more proud of where it is right now, and there's not a team that I've worked on that I'm more proud to be a part of.
That's the Blue Ghost mission, man. Going to Mare Crisium for the NASA's Commercial Lunar Payload Services program. And also that patch is rad, to say the least. That's a really awesome patch. That's cool. So Ghost Riders on the Sky launched on the 15th. That was a week and a day ago. I did cover that launch. At least I'm pretty sure that I did. Pretty sure I was here for that. I covered it from the hotel room, though. from the hotel room, from right here. Right here in the hotel, deep in the south of Texas. See, I'm pretty sure I covered it from there. I really hope it thumbnails the stream with the hotel room. That would be amazing. Exciting stuff, absolutely. So yeah, it launched on a Falcon 9, and it actually launched. Falcon 9 dumped 2 landers out to the moon. Ghost Riders in the Sky and Hakuto RM2, which is a Japanese lander for a Japanese company called iSpace. That's pretty cool. That update video is sick, dude. Did you guys see how hot the throat of that hypergolic thruster gets? It gets pretty toasty. There, where is it? Come on back, man. Yeah, that's crazy, dude. Look at that. It gets she getting a little hot there. But look, interesting thing about hypergolic thrusters, about reaction control systems. They pulse the thruster. Watch the plume coming out. Ready? Oh, back it up. Ready? Give it a second. Ready? Whoop. See that? They pulse RCS. Remember that when you play Kerbal. Seriously, don't ever hold down the RCS button. Tap RCS. Trust me, you'll be able to control the spacecraft 1,000 times better. And your rate of pulsing is called pulse width modulation, or being able to switch your rate of pulse. Yeah, super cool stuff. It's like, if you're a car person, it's like adjusting fuel map settings on fuel injectors, because that's what those use. They use really, really fancy fuel injectors. Yeah, you got to feather it. Yeah, good stuff. That's actually a super cool video. I'm super happy that was shared. Let me go over here. I'm just transferring a couple more links that were linked during the video. All right. When are they scheduled to land? I'm totally not Googling it now. March 2nd. Providing all the other burns go good. Isn't pulse width modulation usually a fixed frequency? Well, modulation implies that you can change it, but PWM, yeah, yes, Laser Drifter. In this context, yes, it's how often you pulse the engines. Think of it kind of analogous to engine RPM for a car with an internal combustion engine. It's weird that I have to always add that now. EJ Googles, so we don't have to. All right. Anyway, not the best news for the next bit of news here, but employees tell Talk of Titusville they were not given any notice about the eviction and any communications from current CEO Michael Savage, who was installed as CEO by Space Perspective investor Prime Movers Lab. So, Space Perspective, let me give you some perspective here. Space Perspective was a company that operated out of the Cape that's looking to make, or was looking to make, basically high-altitude balloons. It was a high-altitude balloon that with a crew capsule underneath it, and you could take it up to a really high altitude and look around and peer at the Earth down below, kind of like a balloon version of New Shepard, if you will. Last week when I was in Texas, actually I got somebody told me this that works down there. They showed up for work one day and all the doors were locked. I posted a pic in Discord. Can you help me with the mission in shuttle? I could. Yeah. We don't really know what's going on there. Yeah, it's a really crappy way of finding out. Yeah, that is not a that's not a good way to run businesses. Yeah. We don't know if they're closed. They just shuttered it, Raiden. I don't really know. Like I said, I got a buddy that works down on the Cape. I'm not going to say where, when, or how, or who. He's telling me Space Perspective is closed. They just went to work today and nobody was there. Skirting rule late a little. Does acting NASA administrator have the same authority as normal administrator? Yes, I know what that's in regards to, Forge. I don't want to talk about it. No. That's what we in the industry call not cool. Yeah, that's pretty lame. If you can't face your own employees and workforce because you screwed up and admit that you screwed up. Like the least you can do is due diligence to your team that you hired to do that. At least look them in the face and say what's going on. You know, that's just real. That's real lame. That's a real uncool thing to do. I'll be honest with you guys, like, and I don't mean to dump on Space Perspective. Like, I don't mean to dogpile or anything. Like, okay, it's a balloon. That's cool. It goes up and down. I mean, that's pretty neat. It never really, like, I never really was like, oh my gosh, this is sick. Like, it's cool. Don't get me wrong, but it's not like, see, man, you know, I'm going to stop that train of thought. You know, I'm stopping that train of thought. You know why? I was going to say it's not like this. This is what I mean about Starship completely ruining everything else in the space sector for me. It just ruins it. Like, it ruins it. Like, I said during the NSF cast, everybody's got to see this. Don't go and see it. It's going to ruin rocket launches for you permanently. Like, just ruined. Ruined. You have a community Discord server. Yeah, I do, man. Did I make a mistake? I don't know, Hokey. I can't look at rockets the same, dude. I can't do it. I can't do it, man. Like, here, Chaz, let me pop the Discord in there. There you go, man. Yep, there we go. It ruined it. Like, it sucks for Space Perspective. You do not want to see space flight entities, no matter how far-fetched of an idea it is, you don't want to see these companies folding. That's a real bad thing for the commercial industry, guys. You do not want that. Like, Space Perspective or not, balloons or not, whatever. You do not want to see stuff like this. That's bad news. Even if it is a balloon that quote-unquote just goes up and down, right? Like, that's bad. You don't want that. Now you're the Starbase old man. Oh, that's not Starship. Yuri, let me put it into perspective, dude. Imagine you're a Soviet rocket scientist in the 60s and you see the N1 launch. Every Soyuz launch is going to suck after that. It's not that. We could be doing this, but no, we're launching these little crappy rocket. Like, what is this? This thing's junk. We could be launching an N1. Like, it probably ruined it. Like, ruined it completely until Glishko came along, right? Like Starship just ruined it. I can't look at rocket launches the same, dude. Not even the shuttle. I love the shuttle. I'm just like, man, that's cool. That's neat. It's not that, but it's neat. What is this? A rocket for ants? Same with the Energia, right? Yeah. Can you imagine going from Energia and then it's just like, oh, we have Energia Buran, and now we just have Zenit and Cyclone and Soyuz and Proton. Like, all right, great. Photo show. Like, okay, bye. Hey, that's pretty neat. I wouldn't call that a spaceflight company. It's a balloon. Yeah, whatever. You still don't want to see stuff like this folding, Raiden, no matter what. Like, I know it's balloon. Baron, you say Starship ruined everything for you. I've seen both SLS and Starship up close. SLS is way, way louder. Those SRBs really feel... Oh, yeah, no doubt, no doubt. If you want a good view for Artemis 2, hit me up. I'll be down here for launch support. Okay. Okay. When's that happening? I'm sorry. That was a dick thing to say. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't mean it. I'm sorry. It ruined it. It ruined it. Well, nope. I deserved that. I deserved it. You're not wrong. I deserved it. I deserved that. Yep. Nope. Now you're going to know what a big bird looks like in hell. I deserve this. No, actually, it's probably... Things go Baron, let me put it this way. Okay, real talk for a second. If things go the way I think, and that might happen a lot sooner than we might think. It just... Mission profile might be a little different. I do not have any inside sources in this regard. This is what I think is going to happen, very much speculative. I'm completely pulling this out of my tail. I think it's going to happen sooner rather than later. Because, I mean, you guys have heard that many times. You guys know that it needs to, or else that thing is going to ruin its job.
Discovery, go at
That thing is no joke, dude. Now, with that being said, Baron, I've seen shuttle launches. I know the thump that those SRBs have. They really cook. They cook hard, dude. For sure. Jokes aside. There's people I work with that still blame SLS delays on Starship. Really? Really? Well, you burned that bridge. Yeah, that's what I do. We burned it with rocket exhaust. It was in the flame trench, Brandon. As for your picture, dude, it was taken on March 26, 2010. That's STS-133, if I'm remembering right. It's probably Discovery. What kind of copium freaking mission hardware lean copium seething is that, Baron? Why would you blame HLS? Balloons could have been used like science balloons for analyzing data. Yeah, sure, man. I don't know how you can think that HLS is possibly your bottleneck. Your bottleneck is because you didn't make enough Orions nor SLSs because the procurement for said program is caca. Yes, and this isn't just low-level employees, it's leadership. Can I kick these people in the junk in Minecraft, please? Like square in the junk? Like, what's wrong with you? Like, I'm talking like, this is my foot, and this is other person just up there. Not like toe into crotch, like shin. Like your shit. Like, see how your foot's behind? Like, foot's over here? Like, your shin goes right into that area. Kinetic energy. Like, why? Why are these people the way that they are? So far into that area, your toes come out of their nose. Yeah. Toe is diabolical. Thank you. Been carrying that pick around for years and wanted to ask any NSF crew, but I've seen you first. Right on. EJ versus Artemis Discord. You know what the funny thing is, Will? I like SLS. I think it's a good launch vehicle. There. I said it. What do you want to do, huh? I thought this was America. I like SLS. I think it's good architecture. It needs a better upper stage. And Orion needs a better service module. You get those two sorted, you make a hell of a launch vehicle. That is better than the Saturn V, like objectively. It just needs a lander too. So let's go down the list. We need a better service module. You need a higher energy upper stage. I mean, you could make it work with the EUS. That's fine. If you want to do that. Screw it. Right? And then you need a lander. All right, Orion's already 26, 27 tons. The EUS on paper can do 45 ton, or no, what is it, 43 tons translunar injection. All right, so let's just do some streamer math here. Now that I got put on the spot, we have 43 minus 26, 17 tons. That's plenty for a lander. But here's your problem. Your problem is that that'll get Orion and a lander to a rectilinear halo orbit, and that's it. That's the problem. If you give Orion a beefier service module and dump those damn solar panels, which is not really what Orion's supposed to do, I understand that. But if you did do that, you gave it a beefier service module that had more than like not point crap delta V, right? You could do Apollo-style missions, no problem. But you could also do Gateway-style missions too. It objectively could move more to the Gateway, right? I like this architecture. This architecture isn't bad. It's an oldie but a goodie. It works. I want them to launch it more. That's my beef with SLS. That's my beef with that program. So I don't know if I'd necessarily like duke it out with the Artemis Discord, right? But I like SLS. I think it's a good rocket. I hate that it uses shuttle engines, I'll be honest with you, but hey, whatever. I'm not picky. Problem is, I know what your problem is with your rocket. It ain't got no gas in it. What engine would I give it? B7. B7. That's what I'd give it. I'd give it a B7. Blue Origin's hypergolic. Their hypergolic motor. That's what I would give it. Yeah, B7. I'm pretty sure the B7's hypergolic. It took me a second. I had to think. Do you guys not know about that? The B7 is Hydrolox? Crap. All right, let me rack my brain again. Thinking. A Super Draco? That wouldn't do what you want. Trust me on this one. Okay, here's an idea for SLS. Here you go. How about we make new AJ10s? We make new AJ10s with a larger nozzle. Not use the AJ10 190s from the shuttle, because at this point, it's kind of cringe being like, oh, we're saving money using X shuttle parts. That's kind of cringe. It's kind of a cringy thing to say. And there's no way in hell that restarting a pressure-fed hypergolic rocket propulsion assembly line is going to cost a crazy amount of money. Guys, I'll be honest with you. The AJ10 is not a complicated engine. It really isn't. It's pressure-fed hypergols. Seriously? There's no off-the-shelf components that you can use to restart that. I would argue that right now is one of the best times to be able to restart a propulsion program using off-the-shelf from the commercial market. That's what I would do. That Artemis Discord is so bad. I tried to argue with them that delays in SLS... The delays SLS had in 2017 through 2019 are also related to the facility being hit by an actual tornado, and you got permanently banned from it. What? What do you mean you got banned from it? That's just facts. Like, how is that possible? They should use an EJ 420. That's a really good motor. It's like Apollo. They forgot how to. So you can't. Dude. We have Firefly. You have Firefly. You have Northrop Grumman. You have Blue Origin. You have SpaceX. You can't go to any of these companies and be like, "Yo, make me a pressure-fed hypergol engine that makes 100 kilonewtons of thrust, please." What are they all going to be like? No, we can't do that. Like, no, you absolutely could. And that's where, for NASA's rocket, that's where you should leverage the commercial industry. Have them build you the hardware and you operate it. That's the whole point. Yeah. Or, okay, the AJ-10-118, if you want that one. I mean, the 190 is the one that's on the shuttle. Use the 118K, sure. And a modified Delta K upper stage. They haven't been made in a little while, but the design is there. The EJ-420 hypergolic motor, Archie, has 69 kilonewtons of thrust, yes. EJ-154 for the first stage. No, Snake, we want it to work. EJ-153. Now we're talking. No, I mean, this is what Artemis needs to do. And sorry, I don't mean to make it about this again. I'll be brief. We still have a couple of more space news. I want to talk about Boom Arrow and stuff. This is the kind of stuff I'm talking about, dudes. Like, you have a huge commercial base of stuff of companies. There's Stoke. There's Firefly. There's Relativity. They're doing something. I don't know what they're doing. I did hear they're really doing work on Complex 16. I think it's Complex 16. They're really doing work on it. It's whatever pad they launched Terran 1 off of on Missile Row. One of you nerds would know it. They're really doing a lot of work down there on Terran R's pad, whatever that may be. You have the legacy contracts. You have Northrop Grumman, you have Boeing, you have Lockheed, you have Aerojet Rocketdyne, that's L3 Harris. You have this whole commercial industrial base, a cottage industry of space flight hardware. And many of these contractors, like Firefly, are positioning themselves to be a AAA supplier for the space program. Firefly is trying to be a one-stop shop for space flight hardware. So is Rocket Lab. They're all positioning themselves to be a supplier for something. Like, okay, we've already seen the fruits of this labor with Firefly and their Miranda engines. The Miranda engines might go on a next-gen Firefly rocket, right? But right now, the Miranda engines are going on... they're going on MLV, right? But they're also going on Antares. Because Northrop Grumman in 2020 decided that using their rocket that has a Ukrainian core and Russian engines would be more profitable in the long run than just developing out their Omega rocket. Where are my engines, Yuri? Oh, wait. Yeah, so that stopped being a thing real quick. So Firefly is also building engines for the next generation of Antares, which is I think it's Antares 240 or something. Where are my engines, Yuri? Informats. Spasiba. All right, anyway. So the point is that NASA should leverage that, not just for like a commercial contracted mission, like commercial lunar payload services, but use this cottage industry of AAA suppliers to upgrade Orion, to upgrade SLS, to make better versions of it. That's the kind of stuff that NASA needs to do. Heck, use New Glenn as your Ares 1 and use SLS as your Ares 5. That would be righteous, man. Now that would be a space program. And you could do all that for probably cheaper than what we're doing now and also have Starship at the same time. Man, I'm not Team SLS. I'm not Team Starship. I'm Team have your cake and eat it too. I want all these rockets. Give me all of it. We can support all of it. I know we can because we are right now. Right? 330 is the Firefly first stage with Cygnus second stage. MLV's Firefly's first and second stage. All of the above uses Northrop Grumman avionics. Bingo! You're seeing the commercial contractors already doing this, Pete. Do that with SLS, man. Build a bigger upper stage. Put a New Glenn upper stage on top of SLS. Frick it. Frick it. You telling me we can't get that done? You telling me the guys down at Michoud aren't jonesing to do something like that? That's bullcrap. I know they are. They would love something like that. You know, put New Glenn's upper stage on top of SLS and use an 8.4 meter inner stage and a forward load reactor. We'll call it a GS2 LR, right? A GS2 FLR, and then put an 8.4 meter fairing on top of that and have just the gnarliest cargo version of SLS. It'll look like SLS and Atlas 500 kind of had a kid. It'd be amazing. That's the kind of stuff we should be doing. And that introduces commonality between New Glenn and SLS, which makes it easier to throw Orions or cargo or whatever into space, just like Apollo. This is the kind of stuff NASA needs to be doing, man. We have this gigantic industrial base that NASA spent a decade growing through all their commercial contracts. Now bear the fruits of that labor, please, for the love of God. Or Jeb. Anyway, /rant. Dude, like, that would be sick. It would be sick. Ooh, what's that, Phil? Ooh, piece of candy. What do we got here? Oh my God. Oh my God. Dude. Are these pallets of control moment gyros? Yeah. Hokey, can I have one? Phil, how much one of those cost? You guys want a lift or you guys want a CMG? I mean, probably about the same price. Probably CMG is probably more. I need a desk ornament. Can you imagine having a control moment gyro? Dude, it'll probably rip itself off of your desk. That's what I'm talking about, dude. But seriously though, I never thought I'd see the day where we have pallets of control moment gyros just sitting in a factory somewhere. That's not a thing 5 years ago. That is somebody's dream 10 years ago. You know what I mean? Like, probably get 10 lifts. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it looks like freaking Walmart. Reaction wheels on sale. Black Friday. Yeah, it's an end cap pallet, dude. I love it. I love it. I also want to punch the person in the face that took the control moment gyro from here and put it over there, making it uneven. Sorry, lizard brain, dude. I don't know what to tell you. Who did that? Whoever did that, we're going to have words. But that's what I'm talking about, man. That's what I'm hoping NASA does. That's what I want them to do. They will do it. I really hope so. Anyway. Better to have too many things rather than none of those things. In the words of Burt Gummer, it's better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. What is that? It's a cannon fuse. What do you use it for? For my cannon. Duh. Thanks for pointing out the absolute chaos. This place is a prison. Sorry, man. Sorry. Is that some kind of SLS motto? Do you not know who Burt Gummer is? It is a logic that's applied to other pieces of equipment that let out lots of energy really fast. Rockets let out a lot of energy, tremendous amount of characteristic energy in 8 minutes being released. Today, Junior, this comes from another industry where a lot of energy gets released really fast and something goes really fast. The difference is like a rocket is usually aluminum or like stainless. This one is lead. Broke into the wrong gosh darn rec room! Kinetic energy experiments. Yes, yes. When I grow up, I want to be Bert. Yep. He's got a hell of a recreation room, man, if I do say so myself. All right. Wireless hole punchers. Bluetooth hole punchers. Yeah. That's a good idea. So you're saying those aren't 5090s? No. No, I don't think so. Anyway. I got the crappy AI music stuck in my head. Is that bad? All right, so this one's coming from Boom Supersonic. Let's see what they're up to. 3, 2, 1, let's jam. The countdown, sorry. The countdown is on. XB1 will break the sound barrier on its next test flight. Yeah, baby. We're targeting no earlier than January 28th, 2025 at 6:45 a.m. Pacific, 9:45 a.m. Eastern, 2:45 p.m. GMT. Look at how much Boom cares. They give the time zone in 3 different time zones. You know what I mean. For our most ambitious flight yet, asterisks. Check out the countdown clock and watch the Starlink live stream on boomsupersonic.com/xb1. I will be partaking in that, chat. I do not know about you. I will be partaking in this. Yes. Yes. The CEO seems awesome too. Blake Scholl seems, yeah, he seems like a pretty cool dude. I smell what you're stepping in. All right. Hell yeah. Long-range Swiss cheese machines. Yes. Flight date and time may change for mission safety or weather considerations. So, you see this fish-looking thing right here? That's the XB1. Boom Supersonic is looking at making commercial jets that can break the sound barrier. Their XB1 is their prototype vehicle. That's a picture of it right there. I'm trying to see if we can find another good picture of it. There it is. XB1 is a prototype research vehicle about making a civilian aircraft go faster than the speed of sound. That's pretty rare if it's something that's not off-the-shelf military, right? So like if you own a T-38 or something, right? T-38s can go supersonic. Or like an L-39 or any other type of fighter jet that's on the commercial market that was military surplus. This is a all homegrown, 100% civilian-made plane that can break the sound barrier. What they're working on doing with this is using it as a test bed for their next plane, which is on their background, called Overture. Overture is a supersonic transport. What a 21st century Concorde would look like. What Boom is trying to do with this overall, right? And I know I just said it's a homegrown thing. They are using off-the-shelf propulsion. If I'm remembering correctly, they're using J-85s, but I could be misremembering there. Boom is looking at making supersonic transports using more off-the-shelf technology. They'll make the airframe, but the propulsion and your avionics are something that's already there. It's something that's already made, right? That's what they're trying to do. Okay, they're trying to use off-the-shelf stuff into their own plane design to make low-cost supersonic transports. So they still make a sonic boom. This isn't to be confused with NASA's Quiet SST, the X-59. These things, these suckers will be very loud. But hey, I'll take very loud because supersonic transports is something that frankly should have became the norm in the 70s, but no. Sonic booms, man. Dude, if I lived in the flight path of one of these things and I was hearing sonic booms all the time, that would make me super freaking happy. I'm the kind of guy that likes living next to train tracks or a highway or something because I'm like, yeah, I like that noise. I grew up in the city, man. What do you want? Shut up. Anyway. What is this? Make America boom again? What is this? Mobo? Oh, God. Oh God. Oh God. Oh. Oh. Mm. Political implications aside, that is a fine-looking airplane. I want it. I want it. I want it. Damn, boy. Damn, boy. Damn, boy. Thick, boy. Mmm. You definitely like McGregor. Oh, absolutely, man. You might need a few more subs to get one of these. Yeah. Yeah. I have expensive taste, Liz. I don't know what you want. That's a thick boy. Damn. Sorry. Looks like Starliner might be cooked fresh off the press. Additional Starliner losses? Dude, I still think that they're not going to divest from Starliner. If they do, I'd be very, 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 very surprised. Let me finish what I have and then we'll go there. Would that be Air Force Mach 1? No. Be Air Force Mach 2, dude. Duh. Mach 2. You got a boom on that thing. It works. Oh no! Oh no! Please stop. Sorry. Akmene! The Air Force One paint is a Jackie Kennedy design. I believe this nation should commit itself, before this decade is out, of making a Air Force One that's capable of going Mach 2 and shooting a president across the Atlantic in 1 hour and 45 minutes. Cringe maxing. I told you this year is about maxing now, Beck. We are going to max it out. More cringe, more space, more dank, more memes, more jets, more boom, more rockets, more better. Jack Byer. Boom. Boom. Supersonic. Ah! More strong bad. Boom. I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm cooked. I've spent too much time on the internet, man. My brain is turning into paste. Stop being Sawyer. No. Orange rocket maxing. That's what we need to do. And boom goes the dynamite. So Blake himself, the CEO of Boom, has said that we've got a few surprises planned for next week's supersonic flight. One is an updated supersonic livery. In my honest opinion, it's gorgeous and will make photos and videos of the supersonic flights easily distinguished from prior tests. Are you going to flow viz the plane or something? Jeez. I would show up to that of all things. Yeah, sorry, Kagi. My bad. It was at that moment that chat did not know that EJ was in fact lying. He was going to do it again. Did you guys just hear that? Are they making the Symphony engine for Overture? I don't know, Conan. I'd have to go look, to be honest. Do you need a nap? No. Fire missiles now. Okay. Let's see. What else do we got? You guys have been linking some stuff up here. We have more Starliner is cooked articles, so contradicting exactly what I said, which means I'm probably wrong, but, you know, hey, it's fine. Okay, the other two are coming from Space News here. Let's see what we got. NASA awards Artemis Logistics Studies by Jeff Faust. All right, let's see what we got. I'll make sure to link up the article in both chats so you guys can go over there and make sure you support Space News and what they do. Their articles are top shelf, by a long shot, top shelf. Okay, so this is NASA awards Artemis logistics studies. NASA issued study contracts to examine logistical issues for a long-term human presence on the moon, despite uncertainty that the current administration will continue to pursue the Artemis lunar exploration campaign. NASA announced January 23rd that it selected 9 companies for contracts with a combined value of $24 million to study logistics needed for later human missions to the moon, when the agency anticipates larger crews spending more time on the lunar surface. 9 companies selected for awards are Blue Origin, Intuitive Machines, Leidos, a Leidos company, Lockheed Martin, MDA Space, Moonprint, Pratt Miller Defense, Sierra Space, and Special Aerospace Services. NASA said the studies involve topics such as logistics carriers and handling, surface cargo mobility, and trash management. These contracts are the catalyst for developing critical capabilities for the Artemis missions and the everyday needs of astronauts for long-term exploration on the lunar surface. Najud Miranci, Deputy Associate Administrator for the Strategy and Architecture Office in the agency's Exploration Directorate, said in a statement. NASA made the awards using its Next Step 2 broad agency announcement, a contract vehicle used for a wide range of efforts ranging from human landing system, crew landers for Artemis, to support for commercial space stations. Yeah, Next Step 2 is what they put all their next generation technologies, so stuff for the Artemis program in. That's like their Next Step 2 is basically the main contracting vehicle for anything that has to do with people in NASA. NASA said that these new studies, formerly known as Next Step 2 Appendix R, were initiated to address gaps identified in the development of the agency's Moon to Mars architecture. Gaps, you say? The overall architecture was missing an integrated surface logistics architecture and uncrewed surface mobility systems for lunar surface assets, NASA stated in the Next Step solicitation. The solicitation set a limit of $1 million for each of the 7 study topics and an overbid limit of $4 million if the company submitted proposals for multiple topics. Studies are intended to be completed within a year. Yeah, I figured they might mention this. Elon Musk, chief executive of SpaceX and a close advisor to the president, has been a fervent proponent of human Mars missions and increasingly a critic of Artemis. Regarding space, the Artemis architecture is extremely inefficient as it is a jobs maximizing program, not a results maximizing program, he said in a post on social media on Christmas. Something entirely new is needed. He's right, it needs to be redone, but not gotten rid of. Getting rid of it is just make it worse. You're just going to make another jobs program if you get rid of it. Fix it. Fix it. Fix it. Fix it. Fix it. We've been trying to replace it with something better for a long time. Okay, here's a little thing called EJ's Law about spaceflight. Every single time someone has said when it comes to a national space program, so not a commercial endeavor, every single time someone has said, don't do that, why are we doing this? We can do this for cheaper if we do this. It has ended up, NASA has ended up with less capability and ended up spending more money. Every time. The only time that hasn't been a thing is Mercury to Gemini to Apollo. Everything after that, why use Apollo? It's too expensive. Let's use the space shuttle. It'll be way cheaper. Yeah, it'll be way cheaper if you don't go to the moon. Of course it'll be way cheaper. Yep, that's right. It was cheaper. You are correct. And we never went back to the moon. Okay. Same argument was made, about space station freedom. Right? Oh, we'll build our own. Wait, why do we need to build our own space station? We could use Russian technology and save some money. You know, it'll make the space station cheaper. Yes, the space station is cheaper. It also does less than Space Station Freedom. So yeah, it is cheaper because it doesn't do as much. Oops. Hey, why are we flying this space shuttle? It's so dang old. We're going to replace it with Constellation. It's using shuttle parts. It'll be a lot cheaper. Oh, never mind. Let's not do any of that. Commercial will be cheaper. It'll be fine. Commercial will be cheaper. You know, we'll just use all commercial. It'll be great. Yeah, it was cheaper because you didn't launch anything. See what I'm talking about? Every single time someone says that, it has never worked. Ever. So, like, heed that law or those words, you know, with caution, I guess. Every time someone says we can do it for cheaper, it's not been cheaper. The commercial market has been the one thing to buck this trend, so to speak. And so Mercury, Gemini, and Apollo, because you get what you pay for with space flight, and that's the dirty little secret that no one's going to say. You get what you pay for. You want to save money? You're not going to get as capable of a vehicle. Sorry. And I know what people are going to say to that. Well, what about Starship, EJ? What about Starships? Elon said that Starship could be as low as $2 million a flight. Yeah, could be. Do you think they're launching it for $2 million a pop right now? No, absolutely not. Do you think it took millions of dollars to develop something like Starship and Starbase? Absolutely not. This is very much a $1 billion program being funded on probably a similar pay scale, if I had to guess, to SLS. Probably similar in terms of like annual expenditure. It's probably about the same. Now, what's the difference here? The difference is what you do with it, which is why I've always said SLS needs to launch more. Where Starship is going to succeed is that it's designed to launch a lot. It was designed to launch a lot from the start. So no matter what you want to do, you want to make a rocket, you want to make a super heavy launch vehicle, it's going to cost you billions of dollars. Whatever you do with it after is how you recoup your investment, so to speak. Does that make sense? The Russian technology thing was a way to keep all those Russian rocket scientists in business instead of them going abroad designing ICBMs for God knows who. Yeah, how did that work out? Oh, I know the reason, Stelfar. Yeah, how's that working out? You basically diluted our propulsion research in the U.S. to nothing for the last 30 years until commercial came along. I didn't say it worked. I just stated the reason. Okay, cool. We're on the same page there. It worked out okay. We aren't glowing from nuclear fallout. Anyway, yeah, be careful about that, dudes. Anytime someone says we can do it for cheaper, unless it's Elon. Elon is the only one that's bucked that trend with SpaceX. Which brings me to my next thing. Even if it is commercial, it doesn't necessarily work all the time. This is also coming from Space News. Boeing projects additional Starliner losses in fourth quarter. This is by Jeff Faust over at Space News. I'll link this up for you guys. Please go and support Space News. They're awesome, and they write very good articles. We did talk about Starliner in another article by Sandra Irwin over at Space News, and I was saying that it probably... I don't know if Boeing's going to divest from Starliner. I really don't think it is. With that being said, let's read the article. Sorry, I didn't mean to yawn. Pretty much, Gaw. Yep. Boeing says it's expected to take additional launches on its Starliner commercial crew program when it releases its fourth quarter financial results next week. In a January 23rd press release, Boeing provided preliminary results of the fourth quarter of 2024. That included a projection of a $1.7 billion of $1.7 billion in charges against the earnings for 5 programs in its defense, space, and security business. Most of those charges will go towards 2 programs, $800 million for the KC-46 and $500 million for the T-7A. That leaves $400 million in charges for Starliner, as well as the VC-25B presidential aircraft and the MQ-25 drone. It's actually not too bad for Starliner. Boeing offered similar guidance for its third quarter results in October, initially warning of $2 billion of charges, $1.6 billion of which would go towards the KC-46 and the T-7. Company later reported $250 million in charges on Starliner in the third quarter. Yeah, that's what happens when you launch a mission out of pocket. Important to note, okay, Phil, what are you saying? Important to note that quarter 4 included the cash crisis from the 33,000 worker strike on Boeing commercial airplanes, so that probably didn't help. They've had to furlough staff from Boeing Defense Systems to save cash, so they probably missed payment milestones on programs. But then you got the unusual cost overruns on fixed price programs.
Oh, this is space. I'm in space.
Hey, Hokie, gifted a sub to Phil. Right on, man. And also, Space Pope, if you think I didn't see that 3 months in advance sub that you laid down a little while ago, yeah, I saw it. I was just making dinner or eating dinner at the time. In McCheeto at a 60-monther. You got your worm logo 39 minutes ago. Thanks, McCheeto. Not gonna lie, the T-7A looks pretty nice. Interesting. Yeah, Space Pope, I saw your resub. I saw it in there when I was on break. Don't think I didn't see that. I see everything. I see everything. Read last. No, I'm good. Yeah, that's right. I called you out from Lurk. What do you want? What are you going to do? What are you going to do, huh? Scree! Nice. Nice. All right. So, in October, NASA said it was pushing back its first operational Starliner mission beyond 2025 and electing to use SpaceX's Crew Dragon spacecraft for both the Crew 10 mission now launching to the ISS and Crew 11 in late summer. The timing and configuration of Starliner's next flight will be determined once a better understanding of Boeing's path to system certification is established. NASA is keeping options on the table for how best to achieve system certification, including windows of opportunity for a potential Starliner flight in 2025. The agency has not provided updates on the status of Starliner since then. I don't envy Kelly Ortberg, but I respect the hell out of that guy. It's going to get a lot worse before it gets better, but anyway. Yeah, if you want to read the rest of the article, I linked it up. Ugh. Didn't they also promise us an update by the end of 2024 on Starliner? How do I support Space News if I cannot read? Well, just say out loud that you like Space News. Anyway, guys, that's the news cycle for today. It's not that much, to be honest with you, but I would like to say one last thing. My buddy Elliot Skier is down at the Rolex 24 at Daytona, and he definitely got pole position in his class there. Here's a picture of my boy touching the car. It's a picture of my boy right there. So he got pole. Just like to say congratulations to him and Wright Motorsports. Let's bring this W home. The Rolex 24, guys, is a 24-hour race at Daytona International Speedway, racing Daytona's road course. That's a big deal. It's a big deal getting pole position, but also it is a grueling 24 hours that punishes the car for a long time. You really have to be on to get the car in first place, to get a W at the Rolex. It's pretty hard. Weren't you there last year? I was. I had an option, go to Rolex 24 or go to Flight 7. So I went to Flight 7. Are the shots in the background booster 12 or booster 14? Cheeseburger, that's 12. Yep. I'm literally Buddy the Help screaming, Santa! I know him! When I see him on the screen. It's pretty cool, man. Sorry if this is late, but regarding the hypergolic engine discussion earlier, are they actually more reliable than modern cryogenic engines? The US has more flight hours and practical experience with cryo engines than large hypergolic ones at this point. Merlin D has a failure rate of 0.01, and RL-10C has literally never failed in flight. I feel like how many flight hours an engine has is much more important to reliability than if it's hypergolic, or am I missing something? You're absolutely right about reliability. It's not the reliability of the motor, Bill. It's the propellants. It's the boil off. That's the big one. Boil off. Did you know that the actually, you probably know this of all people. The RL-10, guys, was not designed as an upper stage engine. It was designed as a lander engine for the moon because you can deep throttle RL-10s. Turns out that a deep throttling hydrolox engine is very good for doing precise orbital insertion. Hope they plowed the track good. Yeah, baby. Yep. Is Crew 9 coming back in February or March? It's February, late February, early March now, all systems from what I understand. Have RL-10s been deep throttled in flight all the time, Nova? Oh yeah. How do you think Centaur is so dang accurate at doing its insertions? But yeah, Bill, it is much more about your propellants. Hypergolic engines you can store the propellants for a much longer period of time, like, as you know. That's the big thing. It's not necessarily engine reliability. The trade-off that you're making here is that you don't need to worry about your fuel turning into nothing on your transit time out to the moon. How does the human body handle the long time in space like that? Kirok, I'm going to make a joke for this explanation, but never skip leg day. That's how it deals. That's our best way that we've been able to figure out to deal with it. The astronauts on the ISS and cosmonauts too, for what it's worth, and probably the taikonauts on the Chinese space station too, if I had to guess, they work out for 2 hours every day. An hour in the morning, an hour at night. 2 hours at the gym every day. You never skip leg day, because that could kill you if you come back down after being up there for too long. Wait, is it Centaur or Cygnus that will never die? What if we put a Centaur on a Cygnus, or Cygnus on a Centaur? Okay, then what? I've actually seen a Cygnus on a Centaur launch. I was at the Atlas OA5 mission. Hokie, did you know that I've seen Cygnus launch on 3 different rockets? I've seen Cygnus launch on Antares on NG-11. I saw it launch on Atlas OA5, on an Atlas 5400, and then I saw it launch on NG-20 with a Falcon 9 last year. I've seen Cygnus launch on 3 different rockets in person. Isn't that funny? I'm telling you, Cygnus is the cockroach of spacecraft. It will never die, ever. Can you explain the Cygnus wars? Cygnus will eventually just, by osmosis, just encompass every single spacecraft, and we'll make a bigger version of Cygnus, and we'll call it Bigness. Bigness. Hey, you guys can say whatever you want about your legacy aerospace contractors, but Northrop Grumman really knows how to deliver a product, man. When's the last time you heard of Cygnus having any problems? Are you down with the Cygnus? Oh, yeah, sure. How did this happen? What is that, Forge? What the actual funkin' waggles is going on here? Oh no! Oh my god. Did you see it? Oh. How about right there? Did you see it? The tow bar is still attached. What? How? How did you take off? Oh. Oh. See, chat, you in plain speak, that is not a very pro gamer move. That's bad. How did you take off? How did you take off? How did you take off? I'm not even mad. How did you do that? How did you do that? How did you? Hey, that's pretty good for the pilot, though. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. That plane's very savable. But also, how'd you take off with the damn tow bar attached? I was a student pilot once, and I never did that. Like, Dan, how did they take off? How did you take off with the tow bar attached? How did you not see it? It's big and it's orange. It's orange. Oh my god. Oh my god. The pilot, probably. Yikes. You bet. Concur. We don't need any more of these. The pilot, probably. Like, how do you even do that? How does that even happen? What? It's orange. What the hell? How does it? What? Oh. This is the type of stuff I see in Copper 1 lobbies. Clearly it didn't have the red removed before flight tag on it. Oh, you're right. It didn't. You mean how, like, people drive with the brakes on? Yeah, yeah. In aviation, we call that go fever or get there-itis. Makes you do dumb stuff. How? What? Bro, it's the tow bar. Like, okay. I'm just watching it again. I'm just like, all right. He wasn't wearing his reflective PT belt. Yeah. Strange things are happening in China. What is this, Baron? What do you got? Gee, I wonder where they got that idea. Wow, it's totally an original thing. That's totally an original idea. Wow, I've never seen anybody think like this ever. You remember the Ace Combat like plane that China showed at their air show? Yeah, Yuri, of course I do. I've seen that before. Can't put my finger on it. I don't know. It's weird. I don't know. Team Mozilla. Yeah, right, Bob, yeah. Can I copy your homework, bro? Yeah, just change the answers up a little bit. By the way, can we blame you for the failure of Ship 34 just because you didn't have the shirt on? Yeah, that's fine. That's just from their sci-fi program. That includes toys, books, and etc. That's just from their sci-fi program? Really? Interesting. They stole my Kerbal design. They stole my Kerbal design. I was just making that a second ago. Do you know anything about the development between production site and Massey's that SpaceX is working on? No. Nope. I don't. Honestly, I don't. I was just there. I didn't see anything. There's all kinds of construction going on down there. I don't know if it's SpaceX or not, but... Yeah, that's right, Brandon. Gwen is right. They haven't flown Ship 34 yet. I'm just going to have to go down there with the right shirt next time. When do you think Flight 8 will happen? We're a long way out. Month, probably. I'm going to say first week of March. That would be my guess. So when are you getting a proper NASA job, you slacker? I work for NASA's space flight. Does that help? I can get you a flight coming back from Chicago at 5:55. Does that help? Hi, I'm Earth. Have we met? Oh, I don't think so. Close-ish. All right, I'll take that. Flight 8 on 420. No, they tried that, Galaxy. It didn't work well last time. I would say second or third week of March. I'm saying first week of March. Anyway. Oh god, you didn't have red-eye flights, did you? Define red-eye. The curse of January. Graham, that's part of the reason why I think this was a stupid mistake. I'm telling you, the accident investigation report is going to come out. It's going to come out and it's going to be like, oh, EJ forgot to tighten a bolt. I'm telling you. And the bolt came loose and it hit a pipe, caused a fuel leak. I'm telling you, that's like, dude, that is what happened. Joe, you'd like to go live on the moon. That could happen. We're in a window of opportunity. An hour and a half behind, but I really want to stream from your Cedar and Combine with some ASMR music. Micah, you should absolutely do that. You should absolutely do that. Yep. IMO, red eye is 12 to 5 a.m. So, if you guys want to know the last 24 hours that I spent at Boca Chica, here, let me see. Let me look. So, I was there from the 11th to the 18th. I left, so on Saturday, we spent the entire day out here setting up these cameras. Yes, I know it's crooked. Shut up. And because ship 34 rolled on the 18th, we didn't get back to the house, back to our accommodation until probably like midnight. I went to bed around 12:30, and then I woke up at 4. And Das woke up at 4 and drove me to the airport at 4. I got to the airport. I got to Brownsville at 4:30, went through security, got on a plane at 5. The plane left at 5:30. And by 1:30 in the afternoon, I was home. Does that count as a red eye? More like no shut eye. Yeah. AM toes. AM toes. Yeah. Serious question. Did food taste different on the moon? Why would it? By the way, I'm positive others have said it, but the flame trench with you and Das is pretty cool. Oh, that actually reminds me, guys. So NSF wants to do... We did like a Boca Chica flame trench last week. They want to do a Cape flame trench this week. So, yeah. I'm actually not going to be on Flame Trench. They're going to do the Cape crew this time, which is actually pretty cool. Yeah. So, yeah, no Flame Trench for me tomorrow. Jack is slacking. The camera's still crooked. He's at the Astro Awards, man. Cape Trench, that's right. So, yeah, the crew that covered New Glen is going to go and host that. It should be pretty cool. Kelly, the airline I dispatch for is... the ones who does those 5 a.m. Brownsville flights. We've all wondered why the heck those flights are so early. I don't know, dude. So early racing instead? Yeah, so if we want to do, I'm not going to be there, so I don't know what the schedule is for tomorrow. But Cake Canaveral, yeah, baby. What I do know is that if we check next space flight here, take a peek, right? There's a Falcon, Starlink 11-6 out of Slick 4 at Vandenberg, which we watched the Starlink mission earlier in the week launch from there, which is kind of nuts. Launching at 9:07. So I will see you guys all around 8:30 a.m. tomorrow. And because of that, I'm probably not going to do after hours tonight, okay? State of the stream then? I don't know. We'll figure something out. More after the launch streams would be cool. Noted. Noted, Mutter. Yeah, for sure. Oh, believe me, we saw it. We saw the enthusiasm. Das saw the enthusiasm, which is super important. So that's kind of what prompted this. But yeah, they want to do it with the Cape crew that was down there, and that's fine. That's all good and dandy. It's gonna be a great flame trench. I'll ask if we can restream it here. Got to get up early for that NASA job. Chop chop. Yeah, Cannon, exactly. That's the reason why those Brownsville flights are early, because you have to get a connector, because Brownsville flies to like 3 airports, and that's it. It flies to DFW, it flies to IAH, and I think MCO. I think they fly direct to Orlando, which is actually kind of cool. So you could conceivably watch a Starship launch, go to the and then get on, fly to MCO, go to the Cape, and then probably see a Starlink launch. Just saying, it's possible. You play PoE too. Got an inside track to Elon. We got this. Yo. If you get his number, yo, give it to me. Get him on speed dial. Let me know. Does the NASA spaceflight team have Twitch? I am kind of per NSF. I'm kind of the, if you want NSF on Twitch, this is where you go. So, there's that. That's kind of cool. We used to fly out of McAllen that early. There you go. Will you ever go see a Bong flight? Oh, yeah. Vargon, let me put it this way. If New Glenn didn't coincide so hard with Flight 7, I would go to New Glenn. Abso-frigging-lutely. Sir, you're the NSF liaison to Chet. Yes. If you time it right, you might be able to see a Starship launch headed to the Cape and see the Starship after some orbits. There you go. Time to change your name to EJ_NSF? No. I'm good. I'm good. Anyway, dudes. Like I said, with that all being said, I am going to stop. The Space News was a little short, but that's okay. I think we covered everything. And because there's a launch so early, I'm not going to do after hours tonight. So I think that's going to do her for us. Kind of a short stream today. But tomorrow, you know, we got Kerbal and then potentially racing, the first race of the season, or at least a meeting for racing for the EJRA, Eric Johnson Racing Administration League. If you guys don't know, we do have a racing league that we race Assetto Corsa with some mods that it's open. Anybody's welcome to join, and we do race throughout the racing season every year. We haven't been doing it because it's the racing off season, but the Rolex 24 marks the first race of the year. So, yeah. Actually, you know what I should do if I'm not on Flame Trench? You know what I should do? I should make sure my racing rig is up to snuff. But what about GTA? Sumo is mostly working now. Yes. Let me just take more time let me just stream more. Okay? Just stream more. Just do that. That's fine. Yeah. Bro, I give you like 60 hours a week. Is that not enough? Does this make you happy? 24 hours of EJ. Spare me. All right. There are 24 hours in the day. You can stream more. Okay, I am leaving. I'm leaving now. I will talk to you guys all tomorrow at 8:30 a.m. Now, I know there's time zones and everything. That is 3 hours and 30 minutes before my normal start time. I'll see you here for Starlink, and we'll go from there. Tomorrow's probably going to be a little bit of a weird schedule with no Flame Trench and racing and whatnot. So, we'll go from there. And Dingleberg, to be very, very clear, I don't know. Maybe we'll do. Maybe I'll figure out some time for GTA. I would love to. It's just, it's a lot, man. I am not complaining, but maintaining the house in the garage is a lot of work. Dude, I barely have any time to work on the cars, even during the weekend, let alone stream. Like, it's crazy. And I'm not complaining. I know it's a lot of work, but I'm prepared to do it. That is a risk you're willing to take. Anyway, have a nice evening, everybody. Yep, Snake, I'll see you guys tomorrow bright and early for some Falcon launching action. And then, yeah, we'll stream all day. Probably play Workers and Kerbal, I think, for the gaming parts. And then obviously racing. But yeah, I'll see you guys then. Thank you very much for watching. And I will see you guys all tomorrow. Have a good night. I'm going to sleep. Night, night. Thank you.